I don't know, life's too short to not knit the things that you want to knit, so. Hello and welcome back to the Knitting Paige podcast. If you're new here, my name is Paige and I'm the host of this channel. So for today, I am going to do my regular podcast style and I'm going to update you with finished objects, whips, and acquisitions. So sit back and get ready because there's a lot going on. And so we're going to get started. Starting off, I am wearing one of my finished objects. This is the Baka top, and this was a test knit for Emma's.knits, and it's this gorgeous, like, I talked about it in my summer trends video. It's like that high neck, kind of like halter style top that Sari Nordlund has a couple in this similar design. There's the Audrey top by Petite Knit. The Knit Pearl Girl also has a top like this, but Emma also has this gorgeous top, and it's not 100% finished. I have finished the top, but then she also offers charted patterns to embroider some cute little fruits on afterwards. So I'm gonna embroider the fruits, but I finished it and I wanted to film, and so here's it in its simplest form, which I also really do love. You can just stand up. Hopefully this is in view, but I really like this top. I will definitely plan on making another one and probably not embroidering any fruits in it. A couple of testers did it in stripes, which I think is just so cute, and I have a few extra skeins left over to maybe try and experiment with some stripes, but this top was a sponsored test knit, so I was gifted the yarn and the pattern for free, which was so amazing. The yarn is from Soul Wool, which is a yarn distributor based out of Europe, and of course the pattern was gifted by Emma, and I really love this pattern. Once I got in the round, it knit up really quickly, and I made sure to knit it to a length that could be tucked in and could be worn with like low-rise or mid-rise pants as well. Today I'm wearing it with some high-waisted jeans that I thrifted. I really like the fit. I think that this top, it could be worn in a professional setting with like a cardigan or a blazer on top due to its high neckline. I think it's like kind of a stepped up version to the Audrey top because it does have this nice folded hem. It has some I-cord details along the side where the Audrey top just has raw finishings. So if you're not a big fan of raw finishings on the Audrey top, I think this top would be an amazing alternative and dupe for the Audrey top, while also supporting an up-and-coming designer. This top will be available to purchase on Thursday, so the day after this podcast comes out. I really love it. I also like that the front and the back are actually knit the exact same, and I'm kind of debating about doing all of my embroidery details on one side so that I can have it as a reversible piece and have it plain green on the front, but then like fun and fruity on the back. And so I'm definitely leaning towards that, but I'm not 100% sure on the placements of where to put all my fruits. But I'm officially done with summer knitting, and that is honestly quite exciting for me. My hands, I've mentioned it before, but they don't love working with 100% plant-based yarns, and so I am so excited to be working with wool again. Alicia said it best. I have castellanitis. I've been diagnosed, and I've got a really bad case of it. I will get to my symptoms of castellanitis later in this video, but for now I will talk to you about my finished objects. Thank you, Emma, and thank you, Soul Wool, for sponsoring this test knit. It was so fun. It was a great group of test knitters as well, and I will definitely be making another top at some point, but not this year. Let's move on to some other finished objects. This top was another test knit. All but one of my finished objects, no, two of them, because my mom has one. This is the Natsu top by May.knits, and it's this cute little 70s inspired halter top. I knit this in Drops Saffron, which was some yarn that I had in stash. May knit one of her samples in Drops Saffron as well, and so I thought it would be a great opportunity to use up some stash yarn that I wasn't 100% sure what to do with. And it is super cute. I had it on to go see the Barbie movie, but the movie theater was closed. Like, excuse me? And yeah, I think this top is like a cute little Barbie inspired top, you know, channeling that summer of POP, but in like a nice, more muted pink. Super fun test knit. I do love all of the double knit details on this top. I think it gives it a really nice, clean and elegant and almost like machine made finish to it, despite the double knitting taking forever. If you've done double knitting, you'll know what I'm talking about. But a fun test knit, and I want to add, because I knit it in cotton, I haven't worn it that much. I need to add the snap to it too, but the times I have worn it, I have just safety pinned it. I forgot to buy a snap while I was at Fabricland the other day, so whoops. But on the train of thought I started, because it is knit out of cotton, there's not a lot of memory to it, and it stretches out and then doesn't go back in, as you know how cotton is. And so I did buy some elastic, and I want to thread some elastic just in like the back portion of this top, just so that it does give me a bit more snug and just doesn't like fall down and gape like it has been doing. And so a fun top. I do love the halter aesthetic. I love the open back. I don't know, I think there's something so wonderful about showing an open back. I know for some people it can be like a bit, they don't feel comfortable wearing it, but for me, I don't know, I've always loved an open back. This pattern is now available if you wish to make one yourself. It is a great opportunity to use up some random fingering weight scraps. Something with wool in it would be the best option for this, just so that it does have memory. But if you have some saffron in stash, feel free to use it up and add some elastic in. I think it would be a great opportunity to use up some of that inexpensive yarn that we all probably bought because it was cheap. The next finished object that I have is the cutest little bag, and it was also a test knit. This is the gingham pouch, and it's by the Petite Knitter, and it is so dang cute. I mean, look at it. I mean, look at this. It is so cute. This bag was a test knit, as I mentioned, for the Petite Knitter, and the Petite Knitter just has the most gorgeous colorwork designs. I love everything that she produces. Her, like, I think it's called the Bloom. She had like a Bloom sweater and Bloom socks. Oh my goodness, they are so dang cute. I subscribed to her newsletter, and she put out a test call for this, and it was a fairly tight deadline, like a week to finish, but it just uses up scrap DK weight yarn. And I got this super cute alpaca yarn from a friend that went to Mexico like way back, like back when I was in high school. So this yarn has been in my stash for like forever, and I never really had, I got a whole bunch of random colors in single skeins, and they're all super cute, fun, like bluey colors, but I was never really sure what to do with them. And then this test call came out, and it came out right before I was going to Thunder Bay, which is where my alpaca yarn was still at my parents' house. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is the perfect opportunity to use up those random skeins of alpaca yarn in the cutest little bag that I want to look at all the time and remember my wonderful best friend from high school. And so I applied for the test knit, and I was like, you know, I've applied to some of her test knits before and haven't gotten chosen, but I got chosen for this, and I was so excited. And so I was like, I had 4 skeins left of this alpaca yarn. Playing around with different color combinations, and you know, I'm a blue girl. I love my blue, even though I haven't knit in blue in a while. I've been cheating on blue with other colors, but here's my opportunity to redeem my relationship with blue. And I knit this adorable little bag, and like I said, it's at a DK weight. It is such a cute, simple colorwork pattern. It was so addicting, like that popcorn knitting where you just want to keep knitting and knitting and knitting and knitting and knitting and knitting and knitting. Yeah, that was this for me. And I knit the I knit the bottom in the dark on my drive home, and then I knit the rest of the bag in like one sitting. So it's a super quick knit. It used up like half a skein of each, so it's honestly like the perfect stash buster. And you could also, this pattern would be super easy to modify as well if you wanted to knit it with some worsted weight or Aran weight or fingering weight, and I definitely plan on making more of them. I did mention this is an alpaca yarn, and so there is, it's very drapey, which, I don't know, I think it's cute. I think like little whip, so cute. Like, everyone please go make one. It is the cutest little bag, and I think it would be like the perfect opportunity to use fun colors as well. I don't know. Again, if you are a returning viewer, you know that I'm all about fun colors right now. And I don't know, I just feel like, okay, like High Fiber Knits, Emily's like bright orange for fall with like a white or like a off gray. Wouldn't that just be so cute? Like if you're not into orange, but you want to kind of be like, yes, I'm here for tomato soup core, knit this little bag. It would just be so cute. I think it would be also a great way to use up special skeins, because who wouldn't want this just like sitting on their desk, like smiling at them as they do work they may not want to do while their knitting is just sitting in this cute little bag. Like, you'll be seeing this pattern again, I promise you, because it knits up super quick and it's just the cutest dang thing. And the pattern's out, it's the gingham pouch. If you want to learn how to do color work or haven't done color work before, double stranded color work, so fun. I hold one strand continental and one strand English, and I just work away at it, and then you get this cute little pouch. And I think it's the perfect thing for fall, because who doesn't love lumberjack plaid in the fall? I know I do. Another FO that I finished, I will be quick about it because I don't have it here, but I did get this cute little video of my mom wearing it, and it is the Terrazzo Slipover by Petite Knit, and my mom picked out this pattern. I used some stash yarn that had been living in my stash for quite a while, and it was finally time to give that yarn a wonderful home to my wonderful mother. And I really wanted to finish that while I was in Thunder Bay. I didn't want to have to bring it home and then like ship it to my mom or like wait months and months and months to give it to her. And so I successfully completed that while I was in Thunder Bay. She got to try it on, she got to like have her input into it. And so it typically has like a high turtleneck that's folded down. And my mom was like, I don't really know how wearable that would be for me. And she works at like an outdoor store, and she just wanted something that like she could wear to work as well. And so we made the decision to just do like a crew neck so that it could be a bit more wearable. She liked I was wearing my structure loop sweater, and it has a crew neck neckline as well, and she really liked that. And so made that modification, which I was like, honestly, thank you, because it is knit and twisted rib. And because it's folded over, you're supposed to do twisted knit and twisted purl stitches. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so much twisted stitches. And twisted knit, don't mind so much. Twisted purl, oh, she's a pain, in my opinion. And it's kind of been a whip that hasn't seen much podcast time because I've knit on it sporadically. That is another finished object, which makes 4 finished objects, but I actually have 5 finished objects. And this one is one that I know a lot of you guys love and I love so much, and that is my April cardigan. That was a little pitchy, but you got it. I'm gonna put it on for you because this is my April cardigan, and this is, you know, if you're anyone in the knitting world, you know this is a PK pattern, a Petite Knit pattern, and I love it. It is so cute. And I knit this off gauge using Germantown and a hand-dyed yarn from County Vacay Yarns in the colorway Strawberry Daiquiri. And I obsessively knit this. It was such a fun knit because it was at a larger gauge. It just like blew off my needles, and I was just craving some wool and some mohair, and it was like I honestly love this shade of pink. It is so dang cute and so dang fun. And I mean, I'm going for like a green and pink vibe recently. You know, if you've been following, you kind of see that. Like, how fun is this outfit? Like, oh my goodness. But yeah, this pattern I whipped up. I did a poll on my Instagram, and you guys chose these buttons, and thank you, because I really love it. I think I had some pink buttons, which wasn't my initial plan, but I thought like a tortoiseshell, more muted button would be a bit more wearable and a bit less like 4-year-old girl and more like, you know, mature. I love this cardigan. I did the double knit button band, which I'm really happy with that decision. It took a while, but I think it just gives such a nice, sleek, clean look to it. I'm just so happy with this. I don't know, I think that the cropped length is really nice, and I think it looks like great with high-waisted pants. Hopefully this is in focus. I love it. And knitting it off gauge just meant that I finished it in like an obscenely quick time compared to if I knit it with a fingering and mohair. I love this cardigan. I think I'm gonna get so much wear out of it despite it being like hot pink. I don't know, I said I really like blue, but I think I like all colors. I think I like all colors, if I'm being honest with you. I'm so happy that I was like, I'm just gonna knit what I want, and I might be stressed out about finishing some test knits on time, but I wanna knit this cardigan because it just brings me pure joy. And I've talked a lot about it on this channel because I love it and I just want to give it the love that it deserves. But I'm so happy that I went back into Purling Jays and got this pink yarn because I was initially only gonna leave with the orange yarn for the Levitate wrap, but I turned around, I went and got it, and I'm so glad I did. I don't know, life's too short to not knit the things that you want to knit. Let's move on to whips, 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 whips. I've got a lot of whips. I'm a wild whip woman. I've told you this before, and this is where I'm gonna tell you that I've been diagnosed with cast-on-itis, and I've got a bad case of it. Since we last talked, I've cast on a lot of new things. I'll show you my excavation blanket because it's so cute, and I've been able to add that little pink stripe that I wanted to because I actually had some Germantown left over, which was like, so exciting, but I won't talk long about this. It's my excavation blanket. It brings me a lot of joy. I love seeing the colors. I like how it's like going from like moody to like fun, pink, pop. There's only one line of pink, so it's not fun, pink, pop, but it is fun. And I want to add another line of pink next to this green because I think that's so fun, and it like will remind me of this summer and my pink to green phase. So it's my excavation blanket. This is my mohair jacket by Florence, who is Handmade by Florence on Instagram and YouTube. And this is this gorgeous test knit that I'm doing for Florence, and I'm excited about this cardigan. If you watched my knit into the week with me, this is what I was working on. I think the green is so fun. I think it is gonna be such a statement piece. I love the yarn combo. I'm using Neighborhood Fiber Co. in their organic sock base, which is in 100% merino yarn. It is in this bright lime green color called Bel Air, and I'm holding it with Midnatsol alpaca lace in their lime colorway, and I'm getting this gorgeous combo, but the yarns are slightly different colors, and so you will get this, again, I hope this shows up, you get this nice like fabric as it knits up that just gives you a lot of texture compared to like if it was just a pure color match, which I really love. I think it tones down the brightness of this Neighborhood Fiber Co., which is just like, I don't know, you might be able to see it from space, it's so bright. It has this nice like lateral braid detail in it before you do a folded hem to finish. And so I think I'm almost at that point, and then I have the sleeves and the I-cord with the I-cord ties to finish. And Florence's test knit only requires the body and one sleeve to be done by the test knit deadline, which is August 31st, and so definitely think I can do that. I ideally would like to have both sleeves done, but we'll see. I have a few other projects that I am gravitating towards as well. I do love knitting on this, but I have one other test knit that I will show you, which is a new cast on. Really, really love this cardigan, and I am excited to not have to do buttons. I do think buttons are so cute and precious, but I think that the I-cord ties will be a really nice alternative for a cardigan, and I will finish it faster than I finished any other cardigan, which, by the way, for my April cardigan, like, I put buttons on that baby in like less than a week of casting it off, which is a new record for me. The other cardigans I've done have taken like months, like almost a year to put buttons on, and so happy that I was like, we're gonna challenge myself and we're actually gonna properly finish this, although there's still 2 ends I haven't woven in, but shh. All my other whips that I'm gonna talk to you about today are new cast-ons. And so I want to start with my other test knit. This is the Ruffle Cardigan by Knitharina, and I am so excited to have this cardigan. I am knitting it in Midnatsol as well. I'm holding it with this 100% wool, like fingering weight yarn that I thrifted, and I believe it's from Iceland. And it's kind of like the Lopi lace wool, but it's not Lopi lace. Anyways, I thrifted it from Value Village. I got like a whole bunch of it for a very inexpensive price. And whenever I see like a good quantity of natural fiber at the thrift store, I just usually always pick it up. And it was blue, so I knew that I would use it at some point, but I didn't know what I would use it for. And then I was thinking about, like, I was kind of going through my stash. I've been starting to do these stash tour videos, and I was like, oh my goodness, I have a whole bunch of this yarn because I was looking for a mate for this to use it up this fall. And I was like, I just want to swatch and just see what this looks like. And so I swatched because I was debating about using it for the mohair jacket. It created this beautiful fabric. Again, let me come closer and hope that it works. It reminds me of the ocean. It reminds me of water. It would be the perfect ruffle cardigan if I get chosen for the test knit, because the ruffle cardigan has these, you know, it's called the ruffle cardigan. It has these beautiful ruffles on it. And with this yarn combination, those ruffles would look like waves crashing. And I've mentioned it before, I'm a water resource science graduate. And so I have a full degree all about water. I spent 5 years studying water. This cardigan would look like water. I live on a Great Lake. I've always lived on a Great Lake. And so it just reminds me of water, and I think I could get some really cool like finished object shots down at Lake Ontario, which is the Great Lake that I currently live on. Anyways, I got chosen for the test knit. I cast it on like immediately the day, like I got the pattern sent via email, and I went and grabbed my yarn and I cast it on. And I am getting close to splitting for the sleeves. I knit a decent amount of this on my car ride to Thunder Bay. I got some cool shots of it as a whip on the shores of Lake Superior at the beach. It is also a button-free cardigan, which I think will be so lovely. And I think the ruffle detail to it is just absolutely beautiful. And so yeah, this is another whip. It is a new cast on, and it's for the wonderful Nitharina, and it is going to be my ruffle cardigan wave edition. If you watched my fall knitting plans video, you will have seen that this was a new cast on, but I haven't talked about it in a podcast yet. So the project that I am talking about is the Eva cardigan by Petite Knit, and I love this cardigan. I think it is so dang cute. I love the double rib button placket. I think it is such a nice detail. I love the buttons that Petite Knit has. I think it is going to be such a wonderful piece to wear and style throughout the fall and winter months. And I'm knitting it in this gorgeous like slate blue gray color. It is going to be workwear appropriate. It's going to be like so cute and cozy. And I'm knitting this in Crea Deluxe Organic Wool 2 in the colorway 26. I purchased this yarn from the Knitting Loft on their summer sale. It was 40% off. They don't have any more of this color in stock, but they do have a few other colors in stock. The texture and the feel of this yarn is so soft. I actually can't get over how soft it is. And the stitch definition is beautiful. Let me see again. I'm hoping all these work. I love this cardigan. I've already bought some buttons for it. Let me grab them. I think they're right here. Okay, so I got 2 different button options, and as I'm holding them closer, I know which ones I'll be choosing. I'll be choosing these brown ones to hold the fit. I love Petite Knit's version in the navy with like the tortoiseshell buttons. I think they look so classic and like a nice subtle button detail. And I think that these tortoiseshell ones that I got will also look very lovely with this slatey blue colorway. Talked about it in my knitting plans video, but I initially thought it was a drop shoulder cardigan due to this detail, and it's kind of a mix of a drop shoulder cardigan and a raglan cardigan. So you do start and knit a back panel, but then you add it all together and you do raglan increases in a typical raglan style cardigan before you split for the sleeves. And so I will have a lot of stitches on my needles prior to splitting for the sleeves, and so you know, if you've knit a raglan style cardigan, you'll know that it's a lot of stitches. And so I'm almost at the point to split for the sleeves. When I say almost, I'm not actually that close, but it feels like I'm close because there's not that many more rows to do, but the rows are just so long. So the one thing that I am worried about is the pilling with this yarn, but a wonderful viewer commented a D-pillar that they really like, and so I'm going to look into getting one because a few of my knits are starting to pill, and I think that's just part of using 100% wool. Okay, I have 3 new cast-ons for you that you've never seen before in any of my videos, and I have 1 fun swatch. So I'd say this is like the most boring new cast-on just because it is in a neutral and I'm not very far into it, but this is the start of my Nemi skirt, which is a pattern that I really want to knit this fall. I think that a nice midi skirt will just be such a staple in my wardrobe, and I've been thinking about like pieces to knit for a capsule wardrobe, and I think that this skirt would be such a key player in my knitted wardrobe and very easy to style pattern. I am modifying the pattern a bit. I want to knit the waist smaller and then just do some increases because I don't love like the ruched look of a waistband when you have the elastic and then there's extra fabric, and so there might still be a little bit of extra fabric, but I cast on a size smaller than what is suggested based on because you cast on based on your hip size, not your waist size, and so I cast on a size smaller, but then I'm going to increase to the specified number of stitches for my hip size. As you can see, I'm not very far. I also made the modification. You're supposed to do a provisional cast on, but I just decided I was going to do a regular long tail cast on and then do a knitted down folded hem for the waistband instead of doing a Kitchener stitch to fold the hem. So some modifications I'm making, but just a nice classic ribbed midi skirt with, I really like the amount of, it has positive ease where a lot of midi skirts have negative ease, and I really like the positive ease of this specific skirt. And as you can see, I have a lot of cardigans on the go, so it's nice to have something in the round. And I'm using Lichen and Lace Rustic Heather Sport in the colorway Coal. Because of it being a bottom that I'm going to wear in like most likely the fall and winter, I think that I'll always have like pantyhose or something on underneath, and so I think the rustic wool won't be too bothersome on my legs. And I do find my legs aren't a super textile sensitive area compared to like, you know, your chest or your neck or your forehead or something like that, but I don't find I'm super sensitive to rustic wool. So this is just a fun skirt that it's going to be quite mindless. It's going to be a nice in the round piece to reach for, and it's going to be in a wonderful gray neutral that like look cute with my pink, look cute with my green, look cute with my blue, you know? It'll just be a wonderful neutral bottom to go with all my fun colors that I've knit for top torso garments. Like I finished that fall knitting plans video and I was like, I want that skirt, I'm gonna cast it on. So I cast it on because I've got cast-on-itis. Another cast on that I made after filming my fall knitting plans video is my Sophie shawl. This is a chunky alpaca yarn that my mom got for me from a yarn store in Thunder Bay, which has since closed because she's moving to Australia. And this is 100% Baby Llama Miski by Mirasol Fiber, I believe. And it is spun in Peru. It is a chunky yarn. There's 75 meters per 50 grams, and I have 150 grams of this. And so my plan is to knit basically until like I'll use up 1.5 skeins, and then I will start my decreases. I have 35 grams left. I think it'll be a decent size shawl where I can like get to be wrapped and cozy, but it's in this super fun colorway, and I think it will look, again, like so fun. So fun, so fun with like all my bright colors, but then I think it will also look great with the coats that I have, and it's just a nice way to use up some stash yarn, and the alpaca is so soft and lovely. I have a new acquisition, but I'm going to show you my swatch first, and this is my swatch for my Levitate wrap, and this is knit in the exact same yarn combo that I knit my April cardigan in. So it's Germantown using Country Vacay yarns Fizz, but this is in the colorway Tangelo for the mohair, and it's in the colorway Orange for the 100% wool from Kelburn Woolens Germantown. And this is a swatch on 6mm needles, just like the pattern calls for. It hits gauge, I like the fabric, and I'm gonna try to get some other things finished before I fully cast this on, but also no promises. I think that the orange is super fun, and I definitely want to finish this one like during the fall and slash early fall, because I do think it's such a nice fall color. And yeah, just embracing the fun colors. I'm here for the fun colors. I don't know what else to say, but that's a little swatch. So stay tuned for some progress on this turning into a garment, and I am doing a project vlog for this, and I've done a few cinematic shots, and I'm really excited about it, so I hope you're excited about it. But yeah. Okay, the last whip that I have, it's also a new cast on, and it's an acquisition. This is the think it's called the Heeg sock by Sari Nordlund. So I got gifted this yarn from Happy Cat Designs, I believe. She was experimenting with a different yarn, a different like fiber content, and this is a 50% merino, 25% alpaca, and 25% nylon blend. Anyway, she reached out and she was like, "Are you still in your pink phase?" And I was like, "Yeah, I am." And she was like, "I have some pink yarn for you." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, that is so sweet." So anyways, we met up and she gifted me this wonderful yarn. This is yarn that she dyed. After seeing this yarn like in its pink form, which I sadly didn't get any photos of, I was like, it's so gorgeous. I just want to knit it up right away. And so it didn't feel like a fingering weight to me. I think it's more of like a sport. The ball band didn't say, and I've also misplaced the ball band. But anyways, I stopped by my local yarn store, Pearl and J's, and I got 3mm little sock tiny circular needles because I like using these circular ones for more mundane patterns. I'm actually going to modify this and do the cable pattern down the back. I'm just gonna do the basic rib down the front of the sock, and because I really love the way it looks in the rib. Again, I'll come closer. I just love the way that the rib looks, and I think that the yarn might just be a little too busy for the cable, and so I don't want to take out what I've done. I do think the cable still looks nice, but I think it will look nice as a nice little detail on the back of the foot, and then have the rest of the foot just be a nice ribbed pattern. And I got this yarn, and then I went to Pearl and J's, I got the needles, and then I also was like, wouldn't it be so cute to do a contrast toe and heel? I picked out like the brightest pink yarn that the store has, and I think it'll just be so fun. It's like Barbie Malibu. I don't know, that's kind of what it's giving me, like Barbie Malibu, driving down the beach in a pink convertible at sunset. Like, yes, here for it. And yeah, so I got this bright pink yarn. This is Cascades Heritage in, I don't know the colorway, but bright pink. And I'm gonna do heels and toes in this color, and it's gonna be so fun. And I mostly cast these on for knitting to have like in my purse while I'm like waiting in line and things like that. But it's so soft. I really do love alpaca merino blend socks. I've knit the pair that I currently have on my feet are knit in Drops Nord, which is again a wool alpaca and nylon blend. Loving these. I think the contrast toes and heels will be so cute, and I'm excited for the little modification that I'm gonna make and just do the cable on the back, and I'm almost at the point where I get to start the heel. Okay, so those were 2 new acquisitions, and I actually have a lot of acquisitions. I really need to chill out and stop buying yarn, but I got gifted 2 skeins of yarn, one of which is that gorgeous Sunset Glow from Happy Cat, and the other yarn, which she also gifted me, is not her yarn, but it's yarn that she had in her stash, and it is this gorgeous pink yarn, and this is by Wellington Fibers, which is a local fiber company to me here in Ontario. They are based out of Elora, Ontario. Everything that they do, because I looked it up this morning, is based on mohair and wool, and so every yarn that they sell is a mohair wool blend, and this is a mohair wool blend. It is 60% mohair and 40% wool. It is in the colorway Magenta, and it is I believe it is a worsted weight yarn. It is, I think, like 100 grams, and there's 200 meters in it, and I mean, look at this color. Oh, it is so gorgeous. I absolutely love it. It has such a nice squish factor. I believe it is a 2-ply, and I was, yeah, goggling at their other fibers that they have this morning. They have a whole bunch of different weights. They have a whole bunch of different fiber blends. They have, whatchamacallit, just like fleeces and rovings that if you spin would be awesome to work up. The Angora sheeps that they use are from the farm that they have and they raise, so they're local Ontario Angora goats, and they use local Ontario wool as well, and they have a whole mill, and it's all local. My plan is to knit some fun mittens in this. There was a viewer that I think left probably like the most wonderful comment I've ever had. Okay, So this is the comment that just makes my day. It says, I learned to knit mittens from a 95-year-old Swedish lady who always said to use bright and cheerful colors for winter because they were your jewelry in the winter. Like, how wonderful is that? It is so cute. And so these are going to be my bright, fun mittens for my jewelry in the winter so that people can see that I like to accessorize and have fun. How can you not get enough of this? And speaking about local, I have some other acquisitions from a trip that I made to Amherst Island. And so my boyfriend was racing the Woolly Bully 10K on the weekend, and I came over, I rode my bike, and I was like, we caught the ferry, and I'm like, I want to go stop at Topsy Farms. It's open and I've always wanted to go, and it was on the complete opposite side of where the race was. And so I was like, honestly, it's kind of nice. I get to have my ride in, and then I also get to go watch him finish. And so biked over to the opposite side of the island, and I got there right in time for open, and I will show you what I got. So I got a decent amount of yarn. Also, because I biked there, they give 10% off to cyclists. Like, how cool is that? But I got this wonderful fingering weight yarn in what I thought was more of a charcoal gray color, but it definitely looks more brown to me, and I got it to hold with charcoal thrifted yarn to knit the Louvre sweater, but I don't think it's a great match. And so I'm kind of tempted to get some dark brown mohair, maybe in like Brown Bear from Knitting for Olive, and knit another April cardigan in this nice dark brown color. I think would look super cute. And buy like some Drops Flora, or in like, I just need a true charcoal gray for the look that I'm going for. I don't really want like a marl gray and brown sweater. I want a true charcoal gray sweater, and so this is not the yarn for it, but it is a wonderful yarn, and I think it will make a very cute neutral cardigan. It's 100% wool from, they use 3 different farms to produce their wool. So they use their sheep at Topsy Farms. They use another farm on the opposite side of the island, which I also biked by, that raises sheep on Amherst Island. And then they use a farm on the mainland of Ontario that everything is within 30 kilometers of each other. And there's a local mill that produces the wool. They do all the processing, they do all the dyeing, and I got this wonderful yarn. It was, I think, $10 for 100 grams, or 110 grams, a quarter of a pound. So very affordable. Again, it's like, it's about as local as I can get living in Kingston. I got to meet some cute little sheeps. They were super friendly. They raise Rideau Arcot, Cheviot, and something else. I got 6 skeins of their like sheep gray in their worsted weight. Again, I think all their yarns are $10 or $11. I knew they were all $10 or $11. I got 10% off because I biked there. Everything that I got 9 skeins in total, was under $100. This is worsted. You get about 200 meters per a quarter pound, or 110 grams. It's in this gorgeous natural sheep color, which I love this color. And my plan for this is to knit the Structure Loop sweater by Other Loops, which I have knit before in a blue and a white, but she has this one version that I bought this yarn to recreate this sweater. And I love, and I think in just a nice uniform color with just the pearl rose as details will be so nice. And I want to recreate this sweater because I love it, and I think it will be so nice. So I got 6 skeins of this to recreate that sweater. I am gonna knit it a size smaller than the one that I knit, and probably make it a little more cropped than my first version. And then the last yarn that I got from Topsy Farms is this wonderful orange. And I have mohair, but I've held them together, and the mohair is too dark to be paired with this, but I really love this color. It just reminds me of like pumpkin, or like a butternut squash soup, which butternut squash soup is like my favorite fall soup. My dad would always make it in the fall, and he'd make Irish soda bread to go with it. And I kind of want to make a pair of mittens, I think, in this yarn. I'm kind of thinking of a pair of fingerless mittens, or a pair of convertible mitts to use this yarn, and it will be like my butternut squash pumpkin mittens. Didn't want to go for a full sweater in orange, so I'm already doing a full cardigan in orange, but I wanted to tribute, again, kind of just like knit something fun to pay tribute to fall and this orange color that's happening this fall, and so I got this wonderful local yarn. That was my Topsy yarn acquisition, and I wish I could say that was all the yarn that I bought, but I bought more, and it's not here. Okay, the last yarn I bought was at the same time I bought this pink yarn to go with the new sock yarn that I was gifted, and I got more Germantown. This yarn was on sale for 50% off. It's $10 for 100 grams. I absolutely love the way that it knit up for my April cardigan, and so I wanted to get more of it. I'm going back to my roots. I do love my blues, and I am obsessed with my Eva cardigan in that like slatey blue color. So I got 4 balls of this yarn in the colorway Slate, I believe. Or no, this is the colorway Steel. It's 100% wool, it's American wool, so fairly local to Canada. And for $10, it was really hard to pass up. I got 4 of them. I knit my April cardigan using less than 4, and so I can get a cropped sweater, at least held with mohair, using 4. So I don't exactly know what I'm gonna knit. I also got 4 in the colorway dark blue. Again, these were also $10 a skein, or a hank, or a ball, or whatever you want to call it. And whether or not I was like, ooh, I could do the Marseille sweater using stripes. Stripe type dress is another thing that I've thought of because I have enough overall yardage to do that. Or I was thinking that I could maybe do one of these in blouse number 1 for like a nice woolly winter version. Hard to pass up. They're colors that I know I will always reach for, and so I couldn't pass up the deal. I gotta tone it down with my yarn buying. That's the plan, tone it down. But I am done talking. That was a long one, I think. I'm hoping I can trim it down, but thank you so much if you're still listening. If you are new here and you're tuning into this, please consider subscribing. It would mean the world to me, and I'm trying to post more frequently because I think it's fun, and I really love knitting, and I love doing this, and I think editing is fun, and it's a nice break for my hands. And so yeah, till next time, I hope you take care. I hope you are kind of leaning into that fall, fun, cozy vibe, because I think a lot of us are, and yeah, I'm excited to work with wool. I honestly am excited for temperatures to drop and for it to like be a temperature where I want to cozy up in my hand knits, but for right now I am wearing some of my summer knits.